Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy.
Damn, man. Wow. He's making you realize all this stuff you're doing, that money can corrupt you, right? Power can corrupt you. It's a call for self-reflection. It's a call for introspection, which, by the way, can change your life. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the channel. So great to have you here. Today, we're going to be covering Ren's Money Game Part 3, my conclusion reaction from the Money Game Trilogy. I already did 1 and 2, Money Game 1 and 2, and now we're going to do 3. Like always, I really have no clue what to expect other than what I've learned from Money Game 1 and Money Game 2. I'm going to give you guys my best reaction, my first take reaction. I don't do any studying ahead of time. I don't reference other reactors or anything else. I go right in there and just tell you exactly the way I see it. Now, guys, I want to tell you that I listened to what you said last time. I did Money Game 1, Money Game 2. I'm doing Money Game right now based on the poll, based on all the comments. You guys all told me, all the Renegades told me they wanted to see me do Money Game. I've done it. But I got to tell you, Money Game 1 and Money Game 2 have really not been watched that much, okay? And I haven't had that much engagement. So, like, share, comment, subscribe, share that video, and I'll tell you, if I get this Money Game 3 up to 1,000 likes and we get this early on in the first week, over 3,000 views, then I'll go ahead and I'll do the next Ren video as well. And you guys tell me what you want to see. Tell me in the comments what you want. I'll run a poll again, but please in the comments tell me. All right, let's get right into it. Ren's Money Game Part 3. Here we go. Already super cool start to this one. Totally different each time. Visually fantastic. Just what a great little journey, and I don't know, just a great visual experience he's taking us on. Awesome. All right, let's go. Well, whoever that dude is playing the piano is unbelievable. So if you know who that is playing the piano, let me know in the comments. Is it Ren? Possibly. I mean, he's crazy talented, multi-talented. Let's see. I'm sure you'll tell me. It is Ren, isn't it? Is that Ren? Holy crap. Amazing. No, it actually is. This guy is amazing. He's intense. How amazing of a musician, an artist, a talent is he? Wow. I'm super impressed.
tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150.
All right, here we are talking about Jimmy. Jimmy, I'm sure, is going to turn out to be something diabolical, something crazy. A lot of stuff going on here. There's a lot happening. You know, the hood with the noose represents he's in the money game. He's the slave to the money. Let's see. Let's see what's going on.
Solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks in.
I mean, his dad tells him this world doesn't give a damn about you. Take all that you can. You know, I mean, it's the world's a scary place sometimes, right? So very interesting, very interesting. Very interesting, the portrait he's painting here. Tell me in the comments what you think about this so far. You know, is the dad wrong saying that? Take all that you can. I mean, yeah, probably, right? In that way, probably, yes. But at the same time, you know, you can't be weak. You can't, if you can produce and you can do these things, do them, right? But I think the take all that you can is probably, that's not the right way, right? That's not, obviously not just a little bit not the right way. It's, as Ren's saying, that's probably going to be misinterpreted by a young kid to mean, you know, the ends justify the means, which they don't. They don't. The ends don't justify the means because the means can be pretty horrible. Okay, so I think you need to proceed with, you know, other people in mind and serving others and doing good by others as well too. Doesn't mean you can't advance. Doesn't mean you can't go get yours. Doesn't mean you can't win and win a lot, but you can help a lot of other people in the process. So very interesting. This is all hitting me at once as I'm listening. So as I go through my own thought process and I think through things, I hope you guys are getting something out of this. I definitely am. All right, let's go. Very cool, very entertaining.
Don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell it.
Boom, there it is. The lie. The lie will sell itself. Manipulation. The truth is an obstacle to his wealth. Okay, we're on to something here. Totally on board. Total BS. Bad, bad, bad stuff. Real bad man. Put in the comments if you know where that came from. Let's go.
The truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out.
Okay, so it's interesting he makes a comment of, you know, doing things for his daddy's approval, because a lot of the times, you've all heard this is very cliche, don't live your life for other people. Don't live your life for other people's approval, all those things like that. But one of the things, again, that I teach with my clients and with my members in my coaching membership and in my Ferocious Optimist community, okay, but I teach it with all kinds of people, and I do it when I give talks as well, but the need to be respected, to know that you matter and that you belong, okay? This is a very powerful, core, vital human interest, okay? It's a vital driver within all of us that whoever is in our immediate circle, we want their approval. We want their respect. We want to know that we matter, that we're significant in some way, okay? And so we'll do just about anything to get that. So it's very, very important, though, that you're mindful and you're crystal clear and you witness your decisions and you also go deep in your understanding of why you're doing what you're doing. When you understand the deeper reasons why that you want to do something, okay, the second and third levels down below the surface reason why, you'll truly be able to master yourself, okay? You'll understand what's really driving me here. It's the pain of embarrassment, of shame, of getting approval, of getting love, okay? Because connection and belonging and love from others is critically important as well, too. And we'll do just about anything to know that we belong, to know that we matter, all these different things. Economic prosperity, economic security, which secures us in the world, gives us stability, security and stability in the world. This is what he's talking about. But when you understand the deeper reasons why you want what you want, you're doing what you're doing, then you start to have agency and ability to control your thoughts and your actions, okay? And to do the true work that's needed to be done, to stay in alignment with yourself, okay? And if one of your great values, as it should be, is to do no harm to others, to try to serve others, then you won't make these kind of crazy mistakes, which, again, in this modern era today, with all the information technology we have, social media, cameras everywhere, the ability to learn so much about people, this stuff bubbles up to the surface and we're knowing more and more and more. And so what is the best practice? You want to be successful, in my opinion, don't do the crap that Ren is talking about, right? Because unfortunately, there is still a lot of this crap that's out there. But I think more and more today, the way forward to truly win, to truly be successful, is to really, serve others the best you can, create the most value you can for other people, not to do these, this dirty dealing, this underhanded dealings and being duplicitous and being a liar, a cheater, a stealer, all these things, living this lifestyle like this. You're going to get found out. They're all getting found out, as we see, okay? More and more and more, because everywhere you turn, there's a camera. Everywhere you turn, there's a microphone. Everywhere you turn, there's information technology, and people will find out. So, don't do this stuff, right? And remember the deeper reasons why you want what you want and why you're doing what you do. When you know that and you witness your decisions in the moment, you're mindful, you're going to make better decisions that will take you to where you want to truly go in life, okay? And you have more inner peace, more confidence, more self-trust, more self-respect, therefore more respect from others. You're developing a brand for yourself, being known for your word, being known as being respectable and being authentic and being honest and bound by integrity and all these things that matter, okay? All right, let's keep going.
Big maneuver for his daddy's approval. Moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32 moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket.
All right, so Ren's singing about like a criminal mastermind here, right? Okay, so just to go from someone who's writing code, and I know it's a song. It's a story, but I need to say it because we're telling a story. And if we all just are listening, accepting, we're telling a story of someone who's a mathematical genius and selling code and doing really well and is in the inner circle politically, but it's not good enough. So next thing you know, he goes into dealing drugs, major, like a cartel, and weapons and arms. And so I think these are two different things. I think when you have the ability to write code and sell software and sell a company at a young age, you can do that again. Now, that's not to say you won't be corrupt and do something corrupt along the way, but why would you risk yourself selling arms and weapons and dealing major drugs and cocaine and all these things and being almost like a cartel or a mafia figure when you can make money within the system in business? Just my 2 cents. Okay? All right, let's keep going.
Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. "35, he gets the call. I'm sorry, son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack. I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion. Heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour.
Now, I know he's just telling a story, but the things he's saying now can happen to anyone at any time. Totally understand that. I say anyone at any time. You know, not anyone, not any time, but it's possible that you get off track and one thing leads to another. Next thing you know, you're doing drugs. Next thing you know, you're drinking too much, okay? All these things can happen. They definitely can happen. And you can be driven by the words of somebody because you put so much stock in trying to please someone else. And this can happen. This can really happen. So understand why you're doing what you do. I think it's so, so important because the demons within all of us, okay, or the voices in our head, the voices to prove something, to win respect, to win approval, to know that you matter, right? To be stable, be secure, and then to feel as though you're growing and that you're doing something meaningful in life. Especially when you're focused on the approval of others. These are external focuses. You can't control the external. And when you focus on things you can't control and you invest your energy and your life into it, you're exposing yourself. I'm going to tell all of you this, when you attach your identity to something you can't control, okay, you're setting yourself up for a major fall. Major, major fall. Especially the approval of other people. When you have this external focus and your identity is attached to an external thing that you have to depend upon people's approval to get this identity, you're in huge trouble. Okay, you're setting yourself up for a real fall. And I think Ren's doing a fantastic job of illustrating this. And I know he's just telling the story and being dramatic with it for the drugs and the guns and all these things like that. But he's telling a very real human story here that could be, templated over anything anyone working any job. Okay, all right, let's keep going.
And hungry for power, Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
In reality, the cartel's going to come to the hospital and finish the job. Just saying.
And fuck. Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy.
I love this part, and because it's, I understand that everything he's saying before is largely metaphor, and he's just showing you, the lesson I take away from this. And you guys put it in the comments what you got away from it. Please put it in the comments because I think everybody learns together. We all grow and learn when we offer what we took away from it. But I think for me, what his overall lesson is that, money and gain, material gain can't be your focus in life. And I see this, to me, this is what he's saying. And I think it's fantastic, very thought-provoking, very catchy, makes you want to listen, makes me want to participate, makes me want to disagree with him. Sometimes argue a little bit and disagree, have a different point. But overall, he's still pulling you in to hit this final character story arc from the beginning to the very end for all three parts, where he's making you realize all this stuff you're doing, that money can corrupt you, right? Power can corrupt you. And definitely if you have a single-minded approach just for money, I agree with him, you'll definitely get corrupted. Single-minded focus only for power, you will get corrupted. But if you have a purpose for the money to serve and help others, and you really, really mean that, and you're willing to not go and try to take as much as you can or get as much as you can, but the real number one filter is how much can you serve, how much can you help, and as the money comes, great. You can have abundance for yourself, help others, have abundance for others, and maybe create jobs for people as well too. And the same thing with the power. If you humbly step into power and realize that you are corruptible, I think then you can do a better job of managing that whole situation and just having a better outcome with it. But I think he's doing a great job of this great story arc and character arc and showing that this can't be your single-minded focus, your single focus of getting money. Because then eventually people do start believing that the ends justify the means, and they never do. They never do. All right, let's keep going. This is great.
Value of gold, Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Call the music.
Before he hits this, I love that. I love the way he shows you he's on the journey with you. Like, it's a version of me. It's a version of she. It's a version of you. There's enough blame for everyone. Yeah. Really cool. Really cool. Very thought-provoking. It's a call for self-reflection. It's a call for introspection, which, by the way, can change your life. If you have introspection, you live a life where you take the time to self-reflect, for self-reflection. You look at the decisions you made. It doesn't mean second-guessing yourself. It means taking a look at why you're doing what you're doing, why you're on the path you're on. How can you change the path you're on? You can change. I spend my lifetime right now, this is what I do, creating positive, lasting change for people through my coaching programs, through the clients I work with, through my membership, through my community, through my videos, through what I do. To me personally, but I spend a life looking at this, at being self-reflective. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm on the journey with you. This is my method. And I love that he's saying that. All right, let's hear what he has to say.
The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Call the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy, community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution? Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive with parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consume till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise.
All right, I'm going to rewind this. I got a lot to say here, and I want to rewind it one more time and just make sure I'm hitting it all. Okay, This is pretty cool. He's got a lot of great things to say. I agree with most of it. And that's not what this is about. I'm reacting to the video, but I can't help it. I have to say what I have to say. Okay. But, very cool. Here we go.
This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy, community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution?
All right. So I'm going to see what his solution is. I hope it's not a bad one. He's got a gun. He's got some rounds there. I hope, we'll see. We'll see. There are a lot of I did not expect this moments in here. And, there's a lot of politically loaded things. I'm not going to go into too much here, but, he's saying that, borders an invention. Yes, it's true. Borders have been around for a long, long time. I mean, before the Roman Empire, we can keep on going. Okay. Law and order fuel the tension. Yes, it's true. But I will say, a lot of times we want a nation of laws, not of men, right? We need to have, there's something called a social contract created originally by a political philosopher, John Locke, okay? And through the history of the Western world, I think following the 100 Years' War and a lot of other crazy, crazy conflicts, political philosophy expanded and grew. The social contract, the Lockean theory, right? So John Locke. We have a social contract, an agreement that we agree upon certain laws and that ways we can agree to live so that you can't say, well, today I'm going to kill you and take your stuff. Or today I'm going to make myself happy in a way that makes everyone else hurt and in pain. And I'm not going to take what's yours because I can, right? This also protects us against the strong bands, the local strongmen, the person who has localized gang of power, things like that. This is important stuff. People who grew up on the American frontier realize this. People who witnessed warfare realize this. We create law and order and laws, in my opinion, in order to prevent chaos and bloodshed and rule by might is right, that the strong create the rules. Right? They always say the golden rule is he who has the gold makes the rules, right? But even worse than that is might is right. I'm strong, therefore I can in this moment do what I want, and I know there's no retribution, no justice, nothing is going to stop me. So I just feel that, I just put that out there for thought. I know Ren has great things to say, and it's very thought-provoking. Here I am. My thoughts are provoked, right? Very thought-provoking, a lot to say. But at the same time, we have to, we got to think through some of these things. There are a reason why we've come up with some of these institutions and these things. Like money, he's right, is an idea. But we came up with that so that there's a more even playing field and means of competition. We'd rather have economic competition than have the competition of guns and tanks and bombs and invasion and soldiers and guns and cannons, Napoleonic warfare, right? For those of you in Europe, you know what I'm saying. Politicians and political institutions are a creation from people's thoughts. And I'm going through some of that now through the history of political philosophy. And it's in order to live a better, more peaceful life. And again, looking back on, the history of political thought, Thomas Hobbes wrote Leviathan, where he said, life is nasty, brutish, and short. Nasty, brutish, and short during, I believe, the 100 Years' War in Europe. And at the time, it was terrible. You died early, you died in combat, or died of plague, or you died of famine and disease and all these things like that because of the way warfare had disrupted everything. So yes, these are born from our thoughts and our beliefs, but the systems that we have today largely, and you can put it in the comments, you can disagree with me. Totally fine. Totally fine to disagree. But the systems we have today are largely better than the systems we had 200 years ago or 100 years ago. Okay? Again, tell me in the comments what you think. You can disagree with me. We'll have a great, lively discussion, and I love it. I think it's fantastic to hear your thoughts, and I'm not going to blast you back and try to prove you wrong. I just will enjoy some good discussion, and I'll take in what you say, and we can all try and learn and grow together. And we're definitely learning and growing thanks to Ren, fantastic artist, brilliant guy, who is being very brave and courageous and offering up all of these thoughts that I can pivot from and I can react to. You know what I mean? I've got obviously the easier job than this with the creation he has here and what he's doing. So definitely no disrespect at all. He's allowing me to react and pivot from this, and I think it's fantastic. But I'm still learning. I'm learning something from him, what he's saying. And I hadn't thought of that. I thought of it a little bit. I have my own way of thinking, and I think I like what I'm thinking, but I've learned quite a bit from him too. All right, let's keep going. We can all learn from each other. Let's go.
My solution.
Let's see what his solution is. I'm a little scared. I'm a little concerned what his solution is. All right, Ren, we got to teach you the 4 basic safety rules of handling a firearm. Do not keep your finger straight and off the trigger until you intend to fire, right? That's one of the number one rules. Never point the weapon at anything you don't intend to destroy. Keep your finger straight and off the trigger until you intend to fire.
Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive with parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consume till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise. "45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain. So..."
Sorry, guys. Interrupt here really quickly. Yeah, I mean, I like what he's saying. We can build a better everything if we put our minds to it, and if everyone strives together, as he's saying, we can build a utopia. I mean, I don't know if it'll be a utopia, I think I've seen too much to think that, but I think it can always be better, right? We can always keep progressing and keep growing, keep making things better than it was. And if we had things in the past that were better, we can bring those forward and make that a part of the future. But yeah, very cool, very cool. All right, let's keep going here. I think he's about to finish out.
45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Damn, man. Wow. All right, so a lot here. We covered a lot of ground. Ren, thank you, first of all, for making such a great video and awesome song, awesome story song. Very entertaining, bit of theater again, fantastic. And I appreciate you letting me react to it. So, yeah, I mean, at the ending there, pretty sad, tragic ending, right? And I think if you're focused on external gain and external things, like I said, you attach your identity to things that are external to you, like money, like power, like approval from others, and you don't unleash that unique personal genius that we all have inside of us, that I believe, in my personal philosophy of ferocious optimism, which I think, matches really well with a lot of the stuff Ren talks about, right? We might have our differing opinions on certain things, but it matches very well with that. I think you're going to end up in feeling like maybe not the same as Jimmy, because Jimmy was a pretty bad guy. He did a lot of bad stuff, and so he was living in hell. He was in hell on earth. But you're going to definitely not have that inner peace you want. And I'm going to tell you, the greatest wealth you can have is health, is, loving relationships. The quality of relationships is the quality of your life. Your health, your fitness, loving quality relationships, high quality relationships, acceptance and belonging with good people that you admire, that admire you, and inner peace. Inner peace because you're serving others, you're providing good works and doing good works for others, and you're providing value, and with that value comes abundance. And abundance can mean many things, not just money. It can be abundance in these relationships, in these experiences, like I'm telling you, in the inner peace and in the joy of great interactions and knowing that you made a difference in other people's lives as well, and that you're growing and that you're learning. All these things. Personal growth matters a lot. When you're learning, you're growing. When you're attempting to do harder things or things you haven't done before, you're getting new skills, you're growing. These are the great wealths in life. And if money comes along and, you have enough money to live, you got enough money for security, and if you're so lucky and you're so industrious that you create something that creates financial freedom for yourself and abundance for others, then that's fantastic too, okay? But I think Ren's point is that never sacrifice your values. Never sacrifice, I want to say, and if you have bad values, your top bad values, try to make the internal journey, right? The inward journey. Take the inward journey and realize that there's more to the world and there's more to life than just money. There's more to life than power. There's more to life than external influence or external approval. Okay? Take the inward journey and seek out those true forms of wealth that I talked about. All right. Make yourselves better. Make the world better. I hope you all enjoy this. I enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Ren for letting me react to it and for making such a fantastic piece of art here. And like I always say, go get yours. Let's go.